The Smokies are no joke. It is cold. We froze last night. My hands are ice right now. We did not bring our heavy sleeping bags. With it being, I'm gonna fix my poles. With it being June, I honestly didn't think that we didn't think we'd need our heavy sleeping bags. So we brought our thinner sleeping bags and we absolutely froze last night. It was really cold the night before too, but it's just the elevation, I guess. It is cold. So when everybody says the Smokies are no joke and they're nothing to play around with, they're no joke. It's a rough night last night. I would say last night was my worst night I've ever had on trail. So I'm glad to be going into Gatlinburg today. Let's just say that. We've got the Clingmans Dome hike this morning. It's a short day, but it's going to be very hard because of elevation. It is the highest point on the entire Appalachian Trail. And so I thought I'd video now while I have a little bit of wind in me. And I probably will not video again until we get to the top. So we'll flip this around real quick. Okay, I know you don't really probably want to talk right now, but I said this will be probably the only video until we get to the top.
Absolutely, probably.
How was your, tell me about last night for you.
Well, my sleeping bag was rated at 45 degrees. And that is not a temperature that keeps you comfortable. It's what keeps you alive. I think that's the only thing I was in was barely alive last night.
My hands are complete ice cubes right now.
It was bad.
It was bad. To me, it was like a rough night, but I mean, it's our fault. I didn't even bring my puffy coat. I didn't think I'd need it. Anyway, there's people with gloves on. We'll just put it at that. So anyway, this is the trail this morning. Like I said, we're gonna be climbing all day. Well, not all day. We're gonna be climbing for a few hours until we get to Clingmans Dome, and that is gonna be our stopping point for today because it's one of the few places that you can get out. There's really only two places to get out of the Smokies. One is at the parking lot at Clingmans Dome because people can actually drive up there. It's wheelchair accessible and stuff, so it's paved, so anybody can go up there, which I think is awesome, and enjoy the view. And then this is really pretty through here. And then there's Davenport Gap, which is past that. So that's where we have to get off today, is at Clingmans Dome parking lot, because there's only those two places to get off the Smokies. So anyway, it's beautiful, it's cold, but hopefully we'll have a good view this morning at Clingmans Dome, and the skies will be clear hopefully, and we'll get some pretty views for you. All right, see you then. I said I wasn't gonna video anymore, but it's so pretty. I just want to share this. It's just beautiful this morning. All right, we just met some people, like really super nice people. There was a group of 3 and they left this morning. Did they say they left this morning? Did they say they left this morning? They left this morning and they live in Sevierville. And if you're familiar with the Gatlinburg area, Sevierville is not far. It's before you get into Gatlinburg. Well, the way that we come with my family lives in East Kentucky and East Tennessee. So when we're coming, we go through Sevierville before we get to Gatlinburg. A lot of people are familiar with the Tanger Malls, or Tangier, we used to call them. But they're from there, and he said that super sweet people. Like Brian and I were just talking about how we both had a really bad night last night. It's super cold. My fingers are frozen. But how the Lord just puts people in your path to just like make you feel better. I met a guy, so I know I'm veering off my first story, but about the people from Sevierville, but I met just a friendly face before these people that we just met, and he just smiled, and it just like, I don't know, it was just made me feel good and got my mind off my fingers being frozen. And I just thought, oh, there's some really sweet people in the world. And then we just met this group of 3 that I was telling you about. And they're just out for like, I think a couple of days, but they live here, and which I think is awesome that they utilize what they have here. I think a lot of times things that are like this right in your backyard, people don't utilize it. But anyway, they were like a little bit older couple, not real old, but a little bit older, and her name was Purple Haze. She had all of her purple on, and I told her how pretty she looked, because she was in all purple, and she said, my true name's Purple Haze, and we laughed, and we talked to them for a few minutes, and we were saying about how we really underestimated the Smokies as far as the temperature's concerned. And so they were sharing that they live in Sevierville, and that last night it was I hope I'm saying this right. Brian's a little bit further behind me. I always check my info before I say it with him, because I don't want to say something wrong, but I think he said the all-time low was last night in Sevierville. He said it got to 43 degrees, and that's down in Sevierville. We were up at, I don't know, maybe 5,000 feet. So, I don't know. I would say the temperatures were probably in the 30s, the upper 30s. It's just going to be a guess. I don't know what they are right now, but it kind of explains a lot. Did he say it was an all-time low?
Yes.
An all-time low. So the moral of the story, don't under... Oh, yes, thank you. An all-time low for June, 43 down in Sevierville. And Brian, do you think we're at least at 5,000 feet last night where we camped? I'll check. I mean, it could have been 4,500. I really have no clue. It's high. So the moral of the story is, don't underestimate the Smokies. Pack more than you think you'll need. I regret not packing more. Did what? 5,500? Okay, there you go. No wonder. 5,500. So I'm sure we were in the 30s last night. Okay, so before I get off, I can see my flag here. Somebody at the beginning of the trail, like way back from like right when we got into the Smokies. Climbing, hold on. See, I look lovely with about an hour worth of sleep. Somebody had put all these little American flags out, which is nice, but you're not really supposed to do it. And the reason you're not supposed to put anything out is because exactly what happened to this one I found on the ground, and I felt bad that it was on the ground, so I picked it up. It made me think about my Papaw, Raymond, that passed away recently. He passed away, I can't hardly breathe, hold on. He passed away in December. He was 98. Long story short, he was doing really, really well, living on his own, but right beside my Aunt Pam. So she did a lot to take care of him. Checking his blood sugar in the mornings, fixing his breakfast, his coffee. She'd go in every morning and fix his coffee, get it started, make sure he took his medicine. And he had broken his hip and kind of a freak accident. Fell, broke his hip, and had hip surgery back in December in Knoxville. And I was able to be there with my Aunt Pam and Madison during his surgery, and he did brilliant. Come out great. Went into rehab in Barberville, back closer to where they live. I mean, a little bit far, but back in Kentucky and closer to home. And they were talking about how great he was doing. Like, oh my gosh, you know, he's 98, he's doing amazing. He come out of the surgery amazing. They were like, he'll be home before Christmas. So we were, you know, just so excited about just how he always does. I mean, he was just a boss. I'll insert a picture of him. Anyway, he threw a blood clot and just died in sleep at the rehab. And everybody was just shocked because he was doing so well. Anyway, which is the way you wanted to go. I mean, who doesn't? He's always said, I just want to go on my sleep. But I say all that to say, when I saw this flag on the ground, I picked it up and thought of him. He was a World War II vet. He was at D-Day, Normandy. So I picked this up and I said, I'm gonna pack this for him the rest of the way. And I may just pack it with me every time that I hike. So anyway, this is for you, Papaw. And I'm gonna get off here because I'm climbing and I don't have any breath. All right. So we've officially hit 218 miles, not this trip, but total, which is awesome. And we're at the top of Clingmans Dome. We've met a lot of cool people along the way. It's amazing.
I'm just gonna take a picture.
Wow.
I want you video, okay? You didn't know.
I don't want to until I get it a little closer.
Yeah, just hang this.
I mean, it's so cool. Good morning.
Morning.
All right, so this is coming off. So we've officially done 200 miles on the AT total, 60 something miles. You can see we're above tree line, obviously. 60 something miles this trip. Of course, I don't do numbers, so I can't remember. It's just awesome. It's been a really fun day. It's been a short day, of course, but we are so excited because it gets steak tonight. So anyway, that's us heading down, and we're gonna wait on the lovely Mama Jane to pick us up and get settled in, have a good night's sleep, a good bed, and try to figure out a way to get something to warm us up a little bit as far as sleeping the next few nights out in the Smokies. That's something that's gonna help us. I don't know what, because I'm not buying any sleeping bag. But anyway, we'll see. But it's just a huge accomplishment and so exciting, and just been a real fun day.